Alright, this is a video of changing the ignition coils in a 2009 Saturn Aura with a V6, a 3.6 liter V6 in it. So we're just going to do kind of walk around the outside of the engine and look and see where the connectors are. Alright, starting on the driver's side, you have that coolant tank, and we'll start from this side and just kind of work around. So up front, obviously, we got to take the air cover off. Gotta take this, isn't gotta come off. This connector for your throttle control has got to come off. It looks like there's a bracket here that is for fuel. That bracket's got to be unbolted here. Then we're gonna take this bracket bolt off, which also holds that fuel line. That'll get it out of the line, out of the way. We have this expansion coolant hose. We're probably gonna end up taking that right off of here, off the coolant tank, so we can push that back out of the way. You've got your, I think the intake map sensor there has got to come off. And if we come around the back side, I've got this vacuum line here I've got to take off. I've got another bracket, it looks like, that bolts to the intake, which holds the GR in, maybe. Actually, that bolt's not even in place. It looks like that's been left out. That should have been up here, it looks like, that connector. So somebody's been in here before and left this out. This bracket bolt has to come off of that. Looks like part of that coolant line. And then you've got a connector here, which can actually stay with it, because that's actually going to stay with this control. Nope, you got to take that connector off. I'll do that right now, just to get that out of the way. And then I don't see much else other than the 6 intake bolts, so it looks pretty quick. So I've labeled a lot of things here, and let's take a look at what I've done here before I start pulling the rest of it apart. Alright, so I put labels on everything just because I forget things now and I'm getting a little older. So 1 is just a big connector, comes here to the throttle body. 2 I labeled here, which is a bolt. I'm going to end up taking this bottom bolt out down here for this fuel line to get it further out of the way. I want to get this bracket loosened up so it's out of the way from the intake when I slide it off. I could take the fuel line off, but I don't see I need to do that. This is a air inlet clip, vacuum clip, and there's a right back here. You can see where my finger is. You just push that tab down. That's all with your finger, and that unlocks it, and that connector will then just slide off. So I'm just going to do that. This is another press fitting connector, and what I ended up doing was I pulled the coolant tank, just 2 bolts. They're fastened in place. Take the nuts off, get that out of the way, because this piece right here that I've labeled is very long, as you'll see, and that's a long tube that goes in there. You don't want to break that off. So I'm going to label that 10 before I forget, so I know when I put it back together where that goes. And I'll put a little bit of oil in those O-rings when I put it back on. Realistically, I should change those O-rings when I'm going to put it back together. We're just going to check and see if it has vacuum leaks when I'm done. Over here, I've got the other bolt up here taken off for that fuel line coming across. I've got this hose I've labeled. I'm going to label the intake here when I pull that off out of the way. Number 4, I've taken the bracket off here and the plug connection. And then, of course, I have my harness plug here. I've got to disconnect another bolt from my harness plug. And then that's about it. I mean, okay, I got the 6 bolts out. I got the intake off, so let's take a look. All right, so everything's labeled still. I got everything out of the way. What we're going to end up doing is we're going to do a set of spark plug changes, all right? And I've got 3 brand new coils for the back side. So 1 of them's already been replaced. So I'm going to do 3 brand new ones on the back because I can't get at them without taking the intake off. I've done a thorough cleaning in here. We had some rodents in here, of course. They like to build a nest this time of year in the spring and the winter. So I cleaned that all out. I'm going to spray everything down with some anti-corrosion spray. Maybe they won't like the smell of that. But the way these come off, real simple. There's a little clip on the front. Just push the clip down and the connector comes right off. Just wiggle it and it pops right off. So that little clip takes that off. We're going to take the bolts out, and then what we want to do is we want to go in here with a compressed air. I'm going to blow that all out and get all of the debris that's down there, if there's anything down there, out. And then I'm going to change those back 3 coils. So maybe I've got a cylinder fire, misfire number 5,